As the sun was days away from a supernova, the Glotharis, a race of aliens, gifted the few humans that remained with technology and genetic alterations to help them survive the end of their galaxy. The Glotharis explained to them that they were once human, that there was a multiverse in which the Big Bang happened, but created an unknown amount of Earths. With their technology, they could pass into another galaxy, but each galaxy would be different, due to each galaxy evolving in different ways. After this event, they were left to decide what to do next. All were in agreement. Find another Earth to inhabit, and if there is another race of humans, try to coexist peacefully. After a short period of exploration, they came upon a young Earth with an inferior race of humans. At first, all was well. They greeted the people and were quickly welcomed into their society. The natives even referred to them as the gifted ones in their language, believing that they were sent by the gods. Unfortunately, some of the gifted ones began to tell the natives that they weren't gifted but were gods themselves, choosing to come down to Earth and rule over them. This created a severe rift in the group. Some believed that it would be better to follow along with the fable, while others, including Aiden, the main character, were completely against this. The result was a war, and all of Aiden's group, aside from himself and four others, Sienna, Daryl, Finley, and Orson, were killed. Those who remained were imprisoned, but luckily, Daryl discovered a way through meditation to phase his body through solid objects and freed himself and the others. After their stealthy escape, they came to the tragic conclusion that Aiden's group were no match against the others. They were now severely outnumbered, and even with their weapons, they knew they would lose again. At first, they considered the thought of rallying the natives. This idea was quickly abandoned. The thought of any normal person against people who could manipulate cosmic energy was quickly realized to be a dangerous idea. Furthermore, most of the natives had already chosen to bow to the others, and though they were formidable fighters, they were barely aware of technology and had not advanced beyond using spears. Then they considered a stealthier approach: destroy the technology the others possessed. But this was also quickly discarded, realizing that there were many of the others with increased senses. There were only 5 of them remaining, and that they knew that many of the natives would be caught in the crossfire, and simply were not willing to sacrifice the lives of the natives in order to pull this off. By the end of the discussion, they decided that their only hope was to leave the planet and try to find the Glotharis, to request that they aid them in their fight to free the natives. After 2 years of searching, they finally found the Glotharis homeworld. After a short welcoming, the Glotharis explained to the group that they were each a bit different genetically, so their body would manipulate cosmic energy in slightly different ways. Back when the Glotharis saved them from their worldly demise, they assumed that Aiden's group would eventually come to this realization on their own. The Glotharis refused to fight, but agreed to help them through training in order to better understand how cosmic manipulation worked. During this time, Aiden and one of his group, Sienna, became very close and started a relationship, but he often worried about her mindset. In the war to protect the natives, her family was killed and harbored a deep hatred for the others that now seemed to guide most of her actions. Upon completing their training, they returned to the planet they were forced to abandon and overthrew the self-appointed gods. The victory came after many weeks, and unfortunately at the cost of Finley's life. The irony in this, however, was that the others had spent 2 years believing that no one could oppose them and that they could never be defeated, which inevitably led to their own downfall. While the others became complacent and did not explore the extent of their power, Aiden's group were now more powerful than any of the others had ever considered. But a wedge was placed between Aiden and his group. Sienna, Daryl, and Orson all agreed that the remaining others should be sentenced to death to avoid this from ever happening again. Aiden pleaded to his allies to spare the others and imprison them, fearing that if they did end their lives, their souls would be tainted by the action forever. transforming them into the very thing they fought against. At first they agreed, but soon after, Siana went into the prison and slaughtered them all for killing her family. She explained to Aiden that they survived the destruction of their planet and given this great power only to be killed and imprisoned by their own people. Aiden was understanding of this, but could not bring himself to be okay with what she had done. He decided that it was time to leave. Siana, Daryl, and Orson decided to leave as well, finding information that some of the others may have left before their return and wanted to hunt them down. Aiden, however, decided to take a page from the Glotharis and travel to each existence to learn from and help others when he could. 200 years later, and we are now at the present time. Aiden has gone to many worlds and not only helped thousands, but has made many friends along the way. He now comes to a planet overcome by dangerous creatures that feed on human blood, and a time traveler that warns of a future when these creatures eventually wipe out the entire human race. End of Character Backstory 1. If you enjoy this type of content as much as I enjoyed making it, then please let me know by leaving a like or a comment on this video. Also consider subscribing so you don't miss out on the next character backstory, and a share would be very helpful to the growth of the channel. I would also like to mention my first Patreon supporter, my mother. I love you very much and thank you for always supporting my dreams. And that will wrap it up for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the content, and I will see you on the next one. Later.